So what I was going to say, we was talking about is, I think the main issue with Kanye, or Ye, let's be respectful to his name, he changed it, in this whole situation is, though he had meat and substance with what he was saying, in this world, you have to be very deliberate and you have to be tactful in your word usage, or people will take that and use that to destroy you. You understand what I'm saying? If you're trying to be like a ninja or somebody that's crafty, they can't see it coming. You understand what I'm saying? And if you, it's like, that's why the British Army lost against the American Army, because they had that straight line. You can see where they're coming. They walk in a straight whatever, and it was easy to take them out. And I think even in the media and how you conduct yourself, if you just come too direct and blunt, that could hurt you. And we see that how this happened to Kanye. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hurting rather. Yeah.
Okay. So starting from when he said slavery was a choice.
Yeah, we this is what we're gonna do, and this is what we're doing with this picture. This is going in on Ye, or I said the converYEtion. The converYEtion. But a lot of our Black folks, man, we got a real problem with staying on code when it comes to a lot of our more affluent brothers and sisters. And a lot of more affluent brothers and sisters, brothers that got money, they have a tendency to lean more conservative, lean more towards the right. And they may say things that kind of go against the grain, but we don't fully understand it.
What's the code exactly?
Say what?
What's the code exactly?
The code is not destroying the individual and helping doing the work of the dominant society. You know what I'm saying? Because the dominant society wants to destroy us in general, right? So why the hell will we help them do that? It's just like in the streets, the code is no snitching, right? Now, there are exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, if cops are grimy as hell and they're trying to take down Black people on some grimy shit, why would you, as a Black person, help that dominant cop do their job? Listen, you do your job, I'm gonna shut that fuck up. And I think the same thing applies to us as far as media and our entertainers. Like certain people, I don't fuck with Stacey Dash. I don't fuck with Candace, Owens, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to go on some campaign trying to destroy them and down them. I'm going to just shut the fuck up, let them do what they do. You know what I'm saying? And I show my position, but not saying nothing. But I'm not going to help the dominant society destroy them. And I think that's something that a lot of our people do to a fault, because other groups don't do that. You see in the groups that should not be named, but certain prominent figures, the Weinsteins, the Epsteins, just to name a few, they did some very egregious things. And though those groups won't associate with them, you don't see the majority of them publicly bashing them either. And there's something to be learned from that. You understand? It's just like, you got family, right? Brothers, sisters, whatever. They probably did some grimy-ish or whatever, whatever they went through. But I never seen King Will hopping on the internet talking about, yo, my brother grimy, he shouldn't have did this, blah, blah, blah. No, you're going to talk to your brother behind the scenes, one-on-one, handle some shit, bang, bang, bang. Right. You're not going to help the cops. Right. You're not going to help the powers that be destroy them. No, right. You're going to take them to the side, talk to him, whatever. And if his words or her words destroy them, that's what they're going to do on themselves. Right. And I think that's a big problem of what we do, and something that should be addressed. Yes, Ye said a lot of controversial things. We can all agree. But we are seeing sound bites, we're seeing memes, we're seeing clips. Why did he wear White Lives Matter t-shirt? Why did he wear that? What did he? Oh, he must, because he was Candace Owens, he must like white people. And in my mind, I didn't draw that conclusion. But in the back of my mind, I was like, it gotta be something more to that. And what did the media give us? Candace Owens, they show them from behind, holding each other's hands. White Lives Matter t-shirt. Dude, I did not know until yesterday that there was something on the front of that t-shirt.
Yeah, who was it?
You know what? I would let the image speak for itself, because I am ready. I know I was kind of off, but I'm going to do a share screen with you. And I'm going to share this right here. Bam. Share that. Now, this is a status I made earlier. You can see that, right? Now check this. I said, okay, we're gonna explain that. I said, I just learned that the White Lives Matter t-shirt had something on the front of it. Why didn't the media promote the front of the shirt along with the back? That completely changes the narrative. The context is completely different. Now on the front is John Pablo or Pope John Paul II. And on I put the I looked up on Wikipedia, here's his bio. It says Pope John Paul II today apologized to Black Africa for the involvement of white Christians in the slave trade. The Pope's remarks came in an address to Cameroon intellectuals on the task society and on the importance of integrating the Christian message with African culture. So that's his image and that's his story. And on the back, it says White Lives Matter.
Right.
That completely changes the context. I'm not saying it's right. And it's not, if you start the bear in these racially sensitive times, people gonna get pissed. But when you see the whole context of that, now what does that make you think now of that t-shirt?
A lot different.
I see it more as sarcasm. I see it as a cruel joke because here's a white guy apologizing for Christians' role, even though even that's still kind of funny because Catholics don't consider themselves Christians. So they are actually apologizing for another group, but whatever. Hey, you know what I'm saying? We're going to take what we can get.
Right.
But I just see, look at this white man right here apologize for the role of Christians in slavery. White Lives Matter. That's the way I see it. That's sarcasm. But we never saw the front. We don't know the history of the front. They show on the back. So we just see White Lives Matter. We see Kanye West wore a MAGA hat. We see Kanye West wore a Confederate jacket. You know what I'm saying? We see Kanye West running with Candace Owens. And we just say, oh, this nigga hate Black people. He just saying crazy shit. When this dude mentally, he's an artist and he thinks very abstract. And he's a poet. Like I'm a poet. I'm an artist. I'm a comic. So a lot of times the way we put stuff out, the way we express things is different than the average everyday person. And when you see that, that changes the context. But see, a lot of our people, they just see White Lives Matter. They want to shut them down. Oh, he a coon. Fuck him.
Right.
And that's wrong, man.
Still got to address slavery was a choice.
Yeah, we're going to address all of them.
And Harriet Tubman.
All right. Now, because I don't want to overtalk, like we both doing this together or whatever. What do you think? What was your assessment of him saying that slavery was a choice? Because I don't got the clip pulled up and I don't know you got much time. And we're gonna do a part 2. We're gonna do a part 3. Matter of fact, this is what we got to do. This is gonna be the abbreviated version, but in the future, like we're gonna have a whole hour talking about each part. You feel me? To really, really get it, like dig in this motherfucker. But go ahead. What's your brief idea of what he meant when he said that?
Okay, first let's back up. Do you remember who the platform was when he was talking to?
He was on shit. Was it with the Ebro and them cats? Was it Hot 97 or something?
He was on TMZ.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Now, we know who owns TMZ.
Of course, those who need not be mentioned.
Those who need not be mentioned. So he was with them for about an hour. So that's a lot of dialogue. But they only released a 10-second soundbite, which went viral. So now you're misleading.
Yep.
Because you're putting something out there and not putting it in its proper context and its entirety. So if I'm Ye, and that's what y'all did, now I got to look at y'all sideways because you're doing some funny style shit.
Isn't that what they did with the t-shirt?
Hello. So now
you didn't even notice about the front of you didn't notice. Did you?
Nobody noticed.
Why didn't you? And I'm not coming at you, Will, but why didn't you notice, Will?
Because it wasn't trending on social media.
And why wasn't it trending on who controls the information? In the narrative.
Those who need not be mentioned. But the interesting thing was, then he said Harriet Tubman, all she did was transfer slaves from one set of white folks in the South for another set of white folk in the North. So let me unpack those statements. If you read the story on Harriet Tubman, she said herself she freed thousands of slaves, and she could have freed thousands of more if they only knew they were. So that sounds like mental, right? That's mental. That means you're choosing to be on this plantation. I'm here offering you freedom in a different way of life. And what's your response? Nah, master treats me good here. I ain't going nowhere. Okay, don't stand in my way, but that's a choice. Harriet Tubman said the same thing that he said.
So if you're gonna get mad at Ye, you got to get mad at what Harriet said. Damn, I didn't even think about that.
So he repeating what she said, but y'all mad at him?
So when you saying he said she didn't really free him like that,
listen,
meaning she could have freed way more.
Hold up. Now, when he said all she did was transfer them from one set of white folks to another set of white folks. Now, when black folks came up north, did we come as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as producers, or did we come up to the north as beggars, looking for jobs, looking for a handout? We didn't have no land. We didn't have no money. So we were still at the mercy of white folks. True or false?
That's true. That's true.
So when he said all she did was transfer black folks from one set of white folks to another set, he's telling the truth. The problem with Ye is he doesn't articulate himself properly. If he put it in its proper context, then people be like, well, damn, well, I never thought about it. But there's actually
that comes with not being a reader. You have to read more. Yeah, that helps with your speaking. Like you're college educated, I'm college educated. So that
but here's the thing. When you got money like that, you don't even have to be intelligent. You can surround yourself with intelligent people that are not yes men, that can pull you by your coattail and say, nah, brother, this is a setup and this is a trap. We're not about to go down this alley. Let's bring it back and let's say it like this and articulate it like this so you don't sound crazy.
And that was Donald Trump's main problem. He had a lot of good ideas. He had the right sentiment, but he would always get rid of the teleprompter, get rid of the cue cards, get rid of the publicists. Everybody say, I got like, no, that's your talk game is not your specialty. Right. And I think a lot of that, your ego can be to your detriment if you don't recognize that which you aren't as proficient in. Like you're more proficient in the Black history stuff. That's why I like bringing you on. So when you start going in,
that's my thing. I love history.
When you start going in, you see, I fall back. I just listen. I'm good at like logic and like comparisons and analogies, artsy shit. But when you start going in, you see, I fall back. And every time you hop on this motherfucker, you teach me something. Every time. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's a lot of that is Kanye's ego. And if you watch that latest clip I saw, I wish you had more time. But when you get a chance, watch it. That latest clip.
I gotta watch that newest, but I didn't watch that.
Yo, it's only 15 minutes, but he starts doing those that need not be mentioned. I think he mentioned the name once, but he just broke it down. He's like, you're saying that I'm saying something that's anti those who need not be mentioned.
Now let's take it. Now, did you see that Elon Musk just bought Twitter and fired everybody, right?
Yeah.
Ye's back on Twitter.
Yeah, of course.
And he posted a picture of him and Zuckerberg, those that need not be mentioned.
Yep.
Owner of Facebook and Instagram. And he posted a picture of him and Zuckerberg. They was freaking buddies hanging out, partying and drinking and shit. And he was like, yo, so you want to kick me off Instagram? We was cool at one point, but when I speak the truth, now we not cool no more. I mean, when you look at all the Black artists, whether it's movies, music, media, Prince, people forget, was walking around with the word slave tattooed.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And there's a reason why, but go ahead.
And when you look at who his record label was, Warner Brothers, those that need not be mentioned, they was giving him shitty deals. Dude, he couldn't even, his name did not belong to him. He couldn't, while he was going to court fighting them, he could not even perform under his name Prince, which was why he had to change his name to the damn symbol. Now imagine that. You can't use your birth name that your mama and daddy gave you because of some shitty fucking contract. Is that not a slave?
Oh yeah. And in that latest clip I gave you, I'll spoil a little bit. It's nothing crazy, but he talks about the deal that Adidas gave him and how they snaked him out of 40 million, all these different taxes and fees and things of that nature. Like he basically was getting ransacked out of his deal. So I think this is where he wanted to be. He probably didn't want to lose as much as he did, and they're trying to work things out. But I just wanted to comment.
Let me come in, right? If he, because I had no idea that him and Elon Musk are very close. If you got somebody like Elon Musk in your corner, you ain't got shit to worry about. Okay? Because Elon Musk just posted on his Twitter page all the media outlets and who owns them all. And he did it with his chest out. And you don't see nobody coming for him.
But when Ye does it in that video, in that particular video. But he was just like, yo, you're trying to say, I just made a post. We're still on screen share. You can still see. So I made a post earlier. It just popped in my head, right? You know how I am. When I think of something, I got to post it. I said, you can see that, right? It says, it's been stated that stating the fact that the majority of individuals that own media and entertainment companies, so by proxy, drive entertainment and media is considered negative and anti that group, anti those who need not be mentioned. I said, if that's the case, then saying the fact that the majority of people that play for the NBA, then by proxy, drive the NBA are African-American is anti-Black. How was stating a fact negative?
Right.
Why don't people want to take credit for their position? Now, in those groups that need not be mentioned, the underlings or the smaller people, the broke ass individuals that call themselves that, I'm this and that. It's like people that I got this joke where I say like football fans. They're like, oh my God, the Patriots won, we won. No, nigga, you ain't won shit. You just a fan. You buy tickets. We're not talking about you. Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith ain't talking about you. They're talking about Tom Brady. They're talking about Julian Edelman. That's what they're talking about. But a lot of times, these lower, lesser, broke-ass, dusty people that just happen to associate and share the name of that bigger group, you know what I'm saying? Those that need not be mentioned that's actually running it, they internalize it as if, like, when people are saying, yo, you're running this wrong, you're being unfair, blah, blah, blah. And yo broke dusty ass to make like $15 an hour think they talk about you. No, we're not talking about you. Like Carly Simon said, I guess you think this song is about you. No, it's not. We're not talking about you. But that's how the power works. Right. It's just like in slavery times, right? There was an elite class of white people. See, we could say that. There was an elite class of white slave owners. That was only 1%. But to make all the dusty, hillbilly, toothless, inbred white people feel good and empowered and make that the top part of the group feel good, they give them this illusion because you have this skin color, you are better than those slaves sitting right next to you that work harder than you, that's in the same position. You know what I'm saying?
Since I moved down here to South Carolina, I've encountered grown white folks that could barely speak English and could damn near read and write. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, ain't no fucking way in hell you come from a lineage of fucking slave masters. Okay?
It's only 1%.
1%. But the Wizard of Oz got Black America thinking all white folks was fucking dipped and dripped with slaves.
Just like, also, which parallels with that, a lot of our old school black people and people our age think we all came from kings. We all was kings and princes and shit. No. If all the black people, you know, that was enslaved was kings and princes and shit like that, we're the subjects.
Exactly.
No, we were slaves. We were fugitives in our own country. We was criminals. That's why we got rounded up. That's what, it's easy to sell criminal. How you gonna sell a king? That don't make no sense. How if they were stealing kings and shit left and right, why didn't Africa wage war on England and America if they was taking away royalty? No, that's BS, man. But I will say, go ahead.
You had a lot of tribes or rival tribes that got conquered and got sold off to Europeans. Like, here you go. We don't want them. We don't need them.
Exactly. That's why there were never any rescue ships to come save us. If we were really children that were stripped from our parents that loved us, then why didn't the parents ever come to save us? That make our ancestors look like some of the weakest motherfuckers.
We got to put it in proper context too, because the numbers are a lie. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. Because a lot of
I know you don't got time. Yeah.
A lot of us were already here.
Yes.
And got reclassified.
Yes.
But that's a whole nother topic.
Even how you look, if you physically look at you and me, you can't tell me like the most of our background came from Africa. Look at some Nigerians. Look at you.
We don't look nothing like Nigerians,
no.
Ghanaians.
No. We look like something totally different.
And I've done work with quite a few of them. They'd be like, "You are not me, nigga.
Yeah,
you are."
Yellow eyeballs and shit.
Right. So, but you know,
I'm stop joking,
but you know, it's so like Paul Mooney used to say, the nigga wake up call.
Nigga wake up call, nigga.
Nigga wake up, nigga.
Yep.
When Oprah Winfrey was over there in London call herself shopping in the store, looking like an Aunt Jemima, and they fucking stopped her ass like, "What the hell you doing up in here?" And she's, "I'm Oprah," but still decided to shop there. I would have fucking left. Like, fuck your store. Well, better yet, I'm gonna buy your store and fire everybody. Yeah. Fuck y'all. Like,
I be a little bit braggadocious in those situations, man.
The other issue is, dude, we always looking for appreciation, validation, and acceptance from the dominant society instead of saying we need to build our own and tell everybody else fuck.
But also parallel with that, not only are we looking for acceptance for the dominant society, but we are unforgiving with each other. And right, like, how could you call yourself a lover of your own people and you rejoicing that $1.5 billion got taken away from Ye? That makes you happy. And you call yourself a self-respecting Black person. I feel like even if it makes you happy, stay on code and just shut the fuck up.
Right. That's why I like.
That's what staying on code.
I like what Corey Holcomb said. He said, "Yo, I'm not joining in the piling because everybody else is already piling on top of Kanye. I'm not about to join in it because that shit is corny and it's whack. Don't join the piling. Just step back and shut."
And then, like I said, you throwing away the baby with the bathwater. And we already unpacked slavery was a choice. And also, just to add to that, he wasn't talking about chattel and bondage was a choice.
Right.
But he was saying, and they say my Zoom meeting go in 10 minutes. But he was saying that to stay for 400 years, generation after generation after generation, those that still stayed and didn't try to uprise it, it is after a while, it is a choice. It's a mindset.
It's like a woman that's in an abusive relationship with a man. It's like, yo, this dude, he whoops your ass, then he tells you he loves you. Whoops your ass, then tells you he loves you. One of these days, the light got to come on in your head and say, yo, I got to get the fuck away from this abusive, toxic man. Yeah. Bottom line.
Now, another thing, like I said, I know you got to go. And like I said, I'm going to do this every week.
We got to do this again.
This is a preview. But the whole Confederate flag jacket, I looked it up and basically to summarize it, he said there were slaves that were Confederates. And it was fighting against. There
was Black people that were Confederates that owned slaves. That's so what they don't tell you.
him doing that was his version of Prince putting slave on his cheek. And he said he felt like he was he was enslaved. That's why he's wearing that Confederate shit, and he was trying to fight against that shit. You know what I'm saying? It may not make sense, whatever, but he wasn't wearing it because, oh, I love white people now. No, he wears things symbolically. Like, look it up, research why he did it. Don't just see what he did in a vacuum. Don't just see White Lives Matter on the back of the t-shirt and just think he loved white people.
But again, you got to be able to articulate. Yo, we know how most Black folks feel about Candace Owens. Mm-hmm. You need to articulate why you're running around with Candace Owens. Because once people see that, they're going to automatically shut down and say, this motherfucker is all the way.
And I get it. And it's hard. Like, I don't rock with Candace Owens, but in a vacuum, if I knew nothing about her, a lot of what she's saying as far as Black people being accountable, it's right. It's real. She got different opinions on George Floyd, whatever. We're not even going to get into that. Well, it's different camera angles. Shit look different. It's like watching a football game. Did he catch it? Was it inbounds or not?
But then to come from Candace Owens' perspective, she don't articulate her. You got to recognize your audience. Malcolm X said it best. When you're presenting the truth to Black people, you have to be very careful. Yeah. Because
she's not speaking for Black people, and I don't think she loves herself or her kind. She's disgusted by herself, and I don't like to psychoanalyze whatever. But long story short, the reason why it's hard for me to promote her is because it's not coming from a place of love. It's like that analogy I told you via inbox. I was like, yo, if you're trying to serve me like a beautiful meal from Ruth Chris, the steak, the mashed potatoes, the yams, blah blah blah, but you put it on a cardboard box, you like,
throw it at your feet.
Man, this food. Eat this motherfucking food, man. This shit good for you, motherfucker. You stupid ass nigga. Eat this. The food might be delicious, but how you present it to me and what you gave it to me on, I can't fuck with it. Not from you.
All bad energy you just gave me. So no matter how good the food is. I don't know.
And that's the issue I have with her. I don't have the information, but just the presentation. I will take some of what she said. I'll go and watch a documentary. I'll watch things to kind of expound, but I know she's serving a different agenda. So it's hard for me. But why Kanye aligned with her, that I would have to do more research on, you know?
Right.
That I can't fully. And that's a whole nother hour. Like, listen, we got bullet points. We got to break down the Confederate jacket. The t-shirt, we broke it down a little bit, but we got to break down t-shirt more. We have to break down slavery was a choice. Like, we need to give a separate hour for each individual one. This is just a prelude of the momentary podcast, you know, of things to come. But I've been putting this off forever. But Will hit me up early. He's like, yo, you going? I'm working. I'm like, yeah. But that's how we help each other out. Because, you know what I'm saying? If I'm on point, my brother Will lift me up. Yo, come on, we got to do this. Vice versa. Right. Will kind of busy, whatever. I'm like, yo, Will, we said we're going to do this shit. Let's go. And that's how we, like JC said, we got to be each other's crutches. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we do it, man. But
funny, Jay-Z ain't speaking up on his behalf.
Listen, this situation exposes so many people and their sensibilities and their courage and their fear. You don't necessarily have to take Ye's position, and maybe that's Jay's way of staying on code. Just let me just fall back and support him, because you can get support in silence. They say like Oprah Winfrey supported like a lot of African nations.
Dave Chappelle said it in his stand-up when straight Black men was catching hell for not defending Jussie Smollett with that whole shit that he orchestrated. And Dave was like, we knew he was fucking lying. That's why we wasn't saying shit.
Shit.
Our silence was our support because we knew he was full of shit.
That's a good point, man.
Hello.
But I figure we need to still, like, we gotta stay on code. Like, regardless of the things that the majority of Black people that dislike Kanye have misinterpreted it, I think he has our best interest. I think he just has a weird way of expressing himself. He's not articulate. But the people that call him, oh, he's mentally unstable. He's crazy. You know what? He's mentally unstable and he's crazy, and he made himself a multi-billionaire within 20 years. So if he was able to do that with these mental deficiencies in you, and I'm not saying you, but you are sane and put together, then what does that say about you?
Right.
Because when you just dismiss Kanye and call him crazy and all that shit, and he's way more successful than you will probably ever be in 10 lifetimes, that actually makes you look worse by saying that.
Listen, that's why I'm not name calling, because I'm like, yo, this man still amassed enough money for his great grandkids while we out here working 9 to 5.
9 to 5. He done lost 1.5 billion.
But according to who though?
Yeah.
To those that we can't mention.
And before I go in on that, I'm gonna go on that real second. He's still worth 400 million. That's still allegedly. That's still worth more than we. That's still worth more than we can ever imagine. Now, peep this. Why did it take 2 years for those that need not be mentioned in certain publication, Forbes, to finally admit Kanye West is a billionaire? Right? Kanye West worth $2 billion. But within a day or so of him losing certain deals, they announced it immediately. He's not a billionaire. He's not a billionaire.
But did you see the newest one?
What was that?
Now that he got knocked off, allegedly off billionaire status, Puff Daddy is now in his spot as the new billionaire. And guess who Puff Daddy is controlled by? Those that need not be mentioned.
It's crazy how it all put together. It's crazy. It's like, I kind of like that Ye is going through this because he's proving people right. He's proven his case right every single time. Like if they actually would have just treated him fair and let him use freedom of speech and I don't know, admitted to like poor practices and being unfair and their involvement in transatlantic slavery, everything will be cool. We admit it. We apologize. You know what? We're going to try to do better. Everything will be straight. He's not. Oh, and that whole DEFCON 5, to those that need not be mentioned. First of all, this is from his lack of reading. He meant DEFCON, DEFCON. DEFCON has nothing to do with death. DEFCON just means being on high alert. Like, I know you snaking me. I know you being shady. I know you being funny. You've been screwing me all these years. So I'm on point. And I'm calling it out every time that you do it. I'm not wishing death on you.
Because I didn't know what the hell DEFCON meant.
DEFCON. Well, in America, there's just different levels. And I don't know if one is the greatest or 5. But basically, it just means being on alert that something might happen to you. You know, you go to a club and, okay, when you go in a club in West Hartford, Butterfly, do you feel on edge like, oh, shit, somebody might hit me? No.
Not the way up, not
to
like,
say, you have to say,
vibes.
You feel cool. You go to Uptown Vibes, you go to Cleveland, you're on DEFCON 5. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm about to start punching Jamaicans. It just mean like, yo, all right, I'll see you over there. Oh yeah, this nigga got this nigga came with an overcoat. I don't know, right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This dude right here, he look mad shady. He keep looking at me. Right. That's all DEFCON mean. It doesn't mean DEFCON is what Bill and Ruth was on when he went to that church and blasted away all those poor people, and they still wanted to forgive him. But we can't even forgive Kanye for saying some things or putting things out that we aren't even properly getting the context and understanding what it is that he's saying.
Just keep it in perspective too. Kanye never committed a crime. All he did was say something. And he's being treated like a fucking felony convict with multiple felonies.
But we'll conclude with this because I know you gotta go. I gotta go too, but we covered a lot. For some reason, Zoom only making me do 30-minute videos now. So I have to keep that in mind for the future. So when it cocks out, you know what I'm saying, we can continue where we left off. You see how the devil works. But anyway, from what I heard, they are trying to make it against the law to say anything that you disagree with groups that need not be mentioned. They're trying to make that against the law. Expressing opinions. And listen, man, that dude fighting for us. What you could say, oh, he got children with a white wife, but I thought that if a black man gets somebody pregnant, the kid is black, regardless of where it comes from. That's what I thought. That's what, you know what I'm saying? Tariq Nasheeds and all that shit. That's what they say. Umar Johnson don't say that, but you get what I'm saying. I thought once I had a little bit of drop, that's what it is. And it's like we got to stop throwing away the baby with the bathwater, yo. We don't throw away a whole baby because the baby took a doodle in the bathtub. No, you get rid of the doodle, you clean off the baby, you put fresh water on the tub, and you rock on with it. And we just so ready to just throw people away that I feel like Kanye, as opposed to Candace, is really coming from a place of love. I really believe that. And we just want to throw that away. Candace ain't coming from a place of love. I'm not even going to throw her away, but I'm not paying her no mind. Or I'm going to take her little tidbits of information that I like, but I'm not going to promote her and hold her up and hold hands with her. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even if she tried to give me the buns, she looked funny. She like an ant. If an ant became a human being, that's what Candace. She got the big forehead with the little chin. But we got to stay on code. And I'm glad you came on. I know you got to rock. Anything you got to say before you take off?
I'm gonna do some more research and keep watching these different podcasts. And
yes, no, we got to listen. I don't work on the weekends. I'm pretty much free every weekend at noon. There's no excuse why we can't just for at least an hour do this every Saturday. Stick to this shit, because I'm gonna tell you, when this shit catch on, we're gonna get bread. I'm telling you. You done seen it. You watch all these YouTubers, all them cats, and with I know I call this the momentary podcast, but I feel like because this is something that you and I do as far as different social issues and YouTubers that we fuck with and follow, we might have to call it something different. I'll come up with something, but we might have to call it separate as a separate brand with you and I, just like whack ass Charlemagne. Charlemagne and God got the Breakfast Club. But then he got Brilliant Idiots. You get what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So this has to be its own entity, separate from the momentary podcast. And I think of something. You King Will, I'm Mo Green. I'm good at coming up with shit. I'll come up with something for that.
Charlemagne is owned by those folks, though.
Yeah. Oh well, you know what time it is. you already know what time it is. And you know what I'm saying. And for what he's been through and the things that he's been accused of. For him to still dodge all those bullets and still be okay. He's been accused of things far greater than anything that Kanye West has been accused of. And he's fine. So that's all we need to say about that.
Right.
That's all we need to say.
Kwame Brown revealed all that.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get a bag. We need to try and get a bag from Elon Musk.
Well, you know what?
I'm more team Elon Musk.
Yeah, I'm team. Well, I'm not going to say all the times I am yet, because I can still. Because this is what people do. When you say you team so and so, and they are very controversial and more right, if they can't get at that individual, and you are trying to get into the industry like I am, because they can't get at them, they get at me. And I don't got no power behind me. I don't got no machine behind me to protect me. So I have to be very careful and strategic. And I think we were very objective how we put this out today. Yeah, I have to be very careful and strategic how I put this out. Because when I get on, you my mans. I get on, you on. Right. You security. I know what you got to. I know what you used to do for work. You had a security. What's the dude from Public Enemy? Minister of Defense.
Professor Griff.
You Professor Griff, and you got the knowledge.
You saw what happened to him. Saw what happened to him when he mentioned those that cannot be met.
We gotta be just as tactful as they are, man. Tariq Nasheed is brilliant at it. You see all them documentaries he had, and we see those that need not be mentioned that had involvement in slavery. But see, Tariq says all white people, and I think that's cool. But I still think certain groups need to be magnified by name.
Magnified and identified.
Yeah.
You know.
When you have the power and the position to
because when you say white people, you using a shotgun.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
When you got to identify, you got to use that sniper rifle.
Like some dude from Sweden in there or whatever. Like think of some white person from Alaska. Some white indigenous, they ain't had nothing to do with slavery. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So you have to point out, or put it this way, if you keep out naming the names of the individuals that are all in positions of power and they all have the similar last names of those that need not be mentioned, after a while, you got to say,
yeah. If it looks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
When there's smoke, there's fire. Listen, man, you got to do what you got to do. This was a pleasure. We kind of condensed it, but I can't wait. I see us some days if we don't got shit to do. I see us doing this for like 3 hours, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily.
Well,
but you take care, man. You have a good day, man.
All right, you too, brother.
Yes, sir. Yep. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I could talk. I guess I could talk a little bit more, man. I would just ask that. Listen, I'm not pro Kanye. I'm not pro Trump. I'm just pro truth. I'm pro First Amendment, and I'm pro logic. And if anything tries to suppress our freedom of speech, if there's groups that can't be challenged, and all you're doing is kind of like just asking questions to try to get a clear understanding, but they want to suppress that and not admit their power or their position, I got a problem with that. I think that just needs to be spoken out. It's not singling out an entire group, but if the majority of the individuals share the same last name and sensibilities and look a certain way, I'm just saying, man, we should have a just like every individual can be called out for their wrongdoing, other individuals should have that right. And if that's what they are, that's what they are. Because when they say, people make blanket statements about black folks. So like, black people dominate the NBA. It's true. That's not anti-black saying that. It's the truth. Majority of people are in the NBA, and executives included, are black. So they dominate the NBA. That's not an anti-black thing to say. You know, it's like the majority of big people dominate the NFL. The majority of people in the NFL are over 250 pounds. That's true. That's not anti-big people. We just need to stop that, though. But like Brother Will was saying, it's that whole Wizard of Oz thing. Like, you have a lot more power when people don't know where it's coming from, when they can't identify, you know? But I'm not saying, like, if you don't support Kanye West, that's cool. But before you jump out of the window, please just try to do research on each of those points. The White Lives Matter t-shirt actually had something in the front that made a statement first. And the statement on the back, I interpret that as just, yeah, White Lives Matter. A white person tried to ask forgiveness for slavery. I see that as sarcasm. That's one thing. The Confederate flag clothing, there were a lot of black Confederates that was fighting for something. He feels like he's a black conservative fighting for something. Doesn't mean that he aligns with Confederates. It's just a political statement. Like aligning with Candace Owens, I have to look more into that, but she has a lot of right-wing sensibilities that he agrees with, and I guess she was willing to wear his shirt. She probably wore the White Lives Matter t-shirt for other reasons, you know what I'm saying, for her, but whatever. He used her. She had a documentary coming out. It was a form of promotion. But look these things up. And slavery was a choice. He wasn't saying chattel bondage was a choice, but to continually stay in a slave situation for over 400 years and not try to escape, not try to fight. For those that just complied, they actually chose to comply. Just like those that chose to fight and escape or die, it definitely was a choice. But to be captured in bondage, to be taken against your will, no, that's not a choice. That's not what he's chasing. And me and Will, you know, over the next few weeks, we're going to address all those things one by one and break down each component. So instead of you just drawing conclusions based on a quick soundbite or a quick clip, actually do the research for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Do the research for yourself and then draw conclusions and stop just like, oh, I don't like him. He just whatever. Because no, actually do the research and find out for yourself and then draw your conclusion. And then he's not screaming death to black people. He's not screaming death to those that need not be mentioned. He's not saying that. He's not doing anything illegal. Even if you don't like him, listen, he's a person, very powerful, has a lot more influence and wealth than any of us could ever imagine. So even if you don't agree with him, stay on code, sit back, and let's see what happens. Because police stay on code. It be cops, and I think more cops should go off code, and that would help improve the police force. But stuff happens. There's this blue shield. They might see wrong and injustices. They fall back. But every now and again, it's a rogue cop that goes against, tries to buck the system, and we see what happens to them. But we should stay on, and as long as it's not like some truly evil black person trying to implode and destroy ourselves. And even in that, we handle our own people. We don't seek outside sources to handle in-house problems. We need to just stay on code, man. I feel like Kanye has our best interests up. Just the more research I do, that's just how I personally feel. You don't have to attack me, try to put me down, say I'm a Trump supporter and all that. No, you don't have to do that. You can't reach Trump and you can't get to Kanye, so you get at me. No. Just try to get at the understanding. If you don't rock with me, you can unfriend me, unsubscribe, keep it moving. Because I'm not trying to be violent enough, and I'm not trying to destroy other black people. When you come at me, try to put me down because I don't believe what you believe, you are trying to destroy a black person. And I don't think that's not what Kanye is doing, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to give understanding to a person that thinks abstract, that's an artist, because I'm an artist and I think abstract. That's all I'm trying to do. That being said, I will holler at y'all. This has been the Momentary Podcast with King Will. We're about to call it, when me and King Will get together, we're about to call that something different. I'll holler at y'all. Hashtag everybody need more green. Whatever you do in life, man, just try to do it. And this is not just advice to y'all or suggestions to y'all. This is a suggestion to myself. Just do it from a place of love. Peace. And now it's time to end this.